If you're $50,000 in debt, canceling your subscriptions is not going to do it. Because at $50K, the interest alone will eat up any money you saved on tiny expenses without even touching your balance. The math is rigged against you from the start. After over 20 years of working through people's finances, on my Netflix show, my book, my podcast, I have watched people eliminate large debts like this over and over. And there are 6 proven steps you can take to eliminate your debt fast. And the most important one actually has nothing to do with cutting costs. Let's jump in, starting with step 1, slow down your debt. Let's rethink your debt problem. You actually have an interest rate problem. And until you fix that, nothing else you do is going to matter. Remember, at 27% interest from your credit card, your $50K in debt is costing you over $1,000 a month in interest alone. That money disappears before a single dollar touches your balance. So the house is on fire, and right now we need to stop pouring gas on it. There is a better move that can change the game entirely. We're going to try to lower your interest rate, because at a lower interest rate, every single dollar you pay works harder. Call your credit card company and ask for a lower APR. That 5-minute call could save you thousands of dollars over the lifetime of your loan. You can say something like, I've been a customer for 7 years. I'd like to request a lower interest rate on my account. That's it, simple and direct. And while you have them on the phone, ask if they offer any hardship programs. If you are genuinely stretched thin, some lenders will work with you on a more manageable payment structure. You always want to ask, is this going to affect my total amount owed? And of course, if you qualify, you can look into a 0% introductory APR balance transfer. But in general, a lot of people treat that as a gimmick instead of focusing on paying off their debt systematically. The point is, if you have high interest debt, focus on the interest rate first. And if it works, you have just skipped ahead. Now that we've slowed the bleeding, the next step you cannot skip, no matter how scary it might be, is step 2. Face your actual numbers. I've coached thousands of people on their money, and those who carry the most debt always have one thing in common. They don't know their numbers. They don't know how much they owe. They don't know their interest rate. They definitely do not know the month and year they are going to be debt-free. That's because they'd rather not look at their interest rates or minimum payments. So when a statement arrives, they just toss it aside. They'll deal with it later. It feels bad. Avoiding your numbers can give you a moment of relief. And when you're in debt, that can feel like the only thing in your control. But it means that you are navigating your finances in a fog. If you don't know your numbers, you cannot get out of debt effectively. That fog is going to keep you stuck thinking about your debt in the abstract. And that is what credit card companies want, because time is on their side. The longer you're in debt, the more you pay in fees. The moment you actually write down your numbers and you see them all in one place, something clicks. That is scary for people because it means you're going to have to take ownership. But look at my face. Look at how I look. Do you think I care about you being scared? No, I'm here to help you live a rich life. That takes walking through the fire and confronting your fears. And that's exactly what we're going to do, because I want you to make decisions based on math, not just your feelings. This is what you do. List off every debt you have: credit cards, student loans, car loans, personal loans, mortgage, all of it. Now, next to each one, write down the total balance, how much you owe, the interest rate, and the minimum monthly payment. Then I want you to write down your total monthly take-home pay. 4 things, that's your map. Once you have that map, you're going to see something for the very first time. Which of your debts is actually costing you the most? That is vital. Everything we've done so far has been getting clarity on the numbers. The next step is where you actually start crushing your debt. Do you see how this approach is different than yours? Most people do not take the time to get all their information in one place. They just start randomly paying off debt. That's why it's been so hard. But we are taking a different approach, so you don't have to stay stuck in debt for years longer than you need to. Just like high interest credit card debt slowly drains your money in the background, there are companies secretly collecting and selling your information online. Your name, your phone number, your home address, even your relatives' information. If you've ever Googled yourself and seen your information on random sites, that is not an accident. These are data brokers, and your data is their product that they sell. When your information is everywhere, you're more exposed to phishing attempts, scams, and identity theft, all of which can wreak havoc on your finances. That is why I personally use Delete Me, today's sponsor. Delete Me is a hands-free subscription service that removes your personal information from hundreds of data broker and people search sites. You sign up once, and their team continuously scans for and removes your information using their own in-house technology. They don't outsource it, so your data stays safe. I like that Delete Me has been doing this for over 15 years. This is their specialty, and they were recently named by Wirecutter as the #1 data removal service. Now, when you log into their dashboard, you can literally see which sites had your information, and you can see confirmation that it's been removed. That is peace of mind and one less leak in your financial system. So if you want to reduce your digital footprint, you want to take control of your own personal information, go to joindeleteme.com/Ramit and use the code Ramit at checkout for 20% off a plan for you or your entire family. You can also click the link in the description below. Step 3, crush the first debt. Treating all of your debt the same is a very expensive mistake. $50,000 in credit card debt at 27%, for example, is a completely different problem than $50,000 in student loans at 4%. A credit card at 27% is costing you over $1,000 every single month in interest. Your student loan at 4% only costs you $167. Same balance, but the interest rate is the difference. And that difference costs you over $10,000 a year. So yes, you need to address all of your debt, but I don't want you to just randomly throw money at random debts. You've got to be strategic. And the order you attack your debts determines how fast you get debt-free. From now on, we're going to pay off debt based on something I call math. Have you ever done it since 12th grade? We're about to do it right now. People go, Ramit Sethi, I'm so scared. I don't want to do it. Oh, it's fine. I'll just have my AI do it. You can have your AI do it. I really don't care what kind of calculator you use, but you need to use numbers when you have tens of thousands of dollars in debt. Look at that list of debts that you created in our last step. Find the debt with the highest interest rate. That's going to be your target. Every extra dollar you have goes towards that debt while you pay only the minimums on everything else. Let me say that again because it's really important. People going, what extra money, Ramit? I'm pretty strapped for cash right now. You've got to look at how many debts you have and how much you are paying towards each debt. I guarantee you are not currently paying the minimum on all your other debts and putting the extra money towards your high interest debt. You're not doing that because if you were, you would have that strategic plan. That is what we are doing right now. Once that first debt is gone, you take everything you were paying towards it and you roll it into the debt with the next highest rate. Your payments are going to stack. They're going to accelerate. You're going to keep going until it's all gone. This is called the avalanche method, and it saves you the most money on your debt over time. Now, there is another approach called the snowball method, where you start with the smallest balance and you work your way up. And I find that to be very motivating, but you can choose which method works for you. If your goal is to save the most in interest, avalanche is the most effective. Now, if you followed these first 3 steps, you've already made moves that are going to save you probably thousands of dollars. Your system is set up. Your money is now moving with plans. What comes next is where you could lose everything you just built, because getting out of debt is one thing. Staying out of debt is a completely different skill. So keep watching if you want to maintain the progress that you've made so far. Step 4, stop suffering for no reason. You don't need to suffer. And also, you can't suffer your way out of debt. You've tried it. You know what I'm talking about. You decided this is the month I finally get serious about debt. I'm going to go on a no-spend November. Did it work? No, because you were approaching it through the lens of restriction and suffering. Oh, I'm not going out to any dinner with my friends. That stuff doesn't last. It's based on willpower. You're not changing your actual habits that got you here in the first place. There is a limit to how much you can cut. And at a certain point, you're going to cut so deeply that you're simply going to stop following your plan. But there is no limit on what you can earn. So if you want to make a lasting dent in this debt, if you actually want to pay it off years faster, you've got to go on offense. So instead of targeting $3 decisions, here are some $30,000 decisions for you to consider. Start with housing. It's possible to negotiate your rent. In fact, rents are down across many cities in America, including Santa Monica, Austin, lots of different places. Most people have never even thought of negotiating their rent, and they certainly never tried it. But one rent negotiation can free up hundreds of dollars a month, which can be used to redirect to your debt payments. Same with transportation. When I talk to a lot of couples, they often have 2, sometimes 3 cars. And I'm talking about couples in severe debt. I'm just looking at them like,
Marcus, what do you do for a living that requires this work truck?
I'm an accountant.
What are you towing? Like calculators?
one guy once told me, I need my weekender. I go, what the is a weekender? You think my Indian immigrant parents even know what that word means, weekender? No. You do not need that. And sometimes when you have severe amounts of credit card debt, you may need to figure out a way to do it with one car. It's going to be uncomfortable. This is the energy I need you to embrace, which is it's not supposed to be easy. I got myself in this situation. It's going to be a little hard to get back out, but I want to attack it with a lot of aggression. Finally, reframe that conversation from saving to earning. You can cut and scrape together maybe $3,000 a year in savings, and if you're in credit card debt, you should. In addition, you may be able to negotiate thousands of dollars in a raise at work, and that will allow you to put that money right towards your debt. We actually made a whole video on how to negotiate a raise like this. I'll link it in the description below. Earning more lets you attack your debt from another angle. So I want you to make one of these decisions today because that's how you move the needle in a big, meaningful way. You now have a strategy, you have a plan to fuel it, but if you are relying on yourself to manually execute this perfectly every month, it's probably not going to last. Let me show you how to make sure that your plan goes really well. Now, let me ask you, do you know exactly what to do right now so you can pay off your debt aggressively? Do you know exactly what month and year you are going to be debt-free? And do you know how to accelerate that so that you pay your debt off 2 years faster? No. That is why I created my money coaching program, so that you don't have to gather all this material yourself, so that I can show you exactly the system to apply to your money. Within 48 hours, you're going to get a handle on how to rebuild your entire financial system and your debt attack plan so you will know your key numbers. You can do this all on your own, or you can join Money Coaching, where we also have regular live calls where I will answer your questions. We have debt payoff playbooks and a community that has been through this process and can stick with you right by your side to help you with your debt payoff plan. It's one thing to learn the strategy and the plan that I've talked about in this video, but if you want to apply these principles to your life and you want to pay off your debt aggressively, Money Coaching might be the right program for you. Scan the QR code or click the link below to join us today. Step 5, solve the problem one time, not every month. I don't like solving problems over and over again. I hate it. It's a waste of my time. If something bad happens, okay, I can deal with it once, but I want to solve that problem once and move on with my life. You just made a big win decision. But if you aren't careful, it's going to be easy to go right back to the way things were. Think about it. Every month you're making the same choices over again. How much goes to debt? How much should I save? Did I remember to pay that bill on Friday? We don't want to build a plan that's based on your willpower. What if you get sick? What if you're traveling? What if something gets stressful one week and the whole thing breaks down? The fix here is not for you to become some hero. The fix is to take willpower out of the equation entirely. Automate your payments so that you make the decision once and then it runs forever. This is what I do with my money. I am not waking up in the morning and deciding, should I spend this much or should I invest this much or save? It was decided years ago and it flows every single month. And every December, I take a look at it and I can tweak it or change it based on what I want. So here's the general principle for the system. Before your paycheck arrives, you are going to set up your debt payoff payment that automatically goes to your high interest debt. That payment is going to happen before you even see the money in your checking account. Now, I have another video that gets into details, but the major point is you want to set that automatic system up once and then let the plan run itself. Now, have you noticed that's the second video I've recommended on this channel? Because every week we go deeper on how to earn more, how to build your rich life, and the very specific ways to implement these plans. If you want to get better at your money, hit subscribe right now. The next step is the one that determines whether all of this sticks. Step 6, prepare yourself for success. Now, you can do everything we just talked about, the big wins, the system, the automation, and get yourself completely out of debt. But 6 months later, you might be surprised to find yourself right back in it. That happens a lot. And when it does, it's worse than the first time because you know exactly how hard you had to work to get out of debt in the first place. The moment your balance hits zero is an amazing opportunity for you to look and say, I am never going back. Every extra dollar you had was going towards your debt. Now it's very tempting to see the debt at zero and go back to spending the way you used to. And for some of us, it's not a spending slip. Maybe it's an emergency that you don't have money saved for. So before you become debt-free, you need to make a few rules for yourself. First, I want you to plan to redirect everything that was going towards that debt straight to your emergency fund. That's right. Take the money that you were paying towards your debt, whether it was $200 a month, $2,000 a month, put it towards an emergency fund. I don't mind if you want to take a tiny bit and go have a celebratory dinner, great, but we are not getting back into the old ways of spending. Your target is to build 6 to 12 months of essential living expenses. Think about what that means. Even if you lose your job, it's not going to be a crisis. You're going to have a long time to figure out your next move without a panic. Once that is fully funded, you can redirect most of the money towards your investments. You can increase your 401k contributions. You can max out your Roth IRA. You can open up a taxable brokerage account. You're going to let your money start compounding, growing for you. And this is how real wealth is built. You are not simply letting money flow through your fingers. You are making a plan and thinking 1 year, 5 years, 10 years in advance, and you'll have more money than you ever thought possible. Now, yes, you can take some of that money and slightly increase your living expenses. Instead of just one celebratory dinner, you may want to say, hey, we're going to go out twice a month. Fine. You even might say, we're going to get dessert when we go out. Great. But it's going to be part of your plan and you know the numbers behind it. More importantly, most of the money that has been going to interest and debt for so long is going to be focused on growth, saving, investing. That's going to be amazing. And you can decide what you want your money to do from here. You have spent months, maybe years in restriction mode. Here's my question for you. What does your rich life look like now that you are free? You can travel. You can save for a down payment. You can be more generous. So we went on a journey from 50K in debt to zero. Now it is time to shed that old way of thinking and think bigger. And I'm going to show you exactly how to go from zero to your first 100,000. I want you to watch this next video where I will show you exactly how.